Okay, folks, so for today's lab, um, or for today, we're going to be doing a lab. Our goal for today, the purpose of this lab is to determine how much horsepower each of you is capable of outputting. So you're going to calculate that today. You're going to collect data for the lab. You're going to use your data to determine how much horsepower you're capable of outputting. And you're going to answer some conclusion questions. And so what we're going to be doing is you're going to be determining how much horsepower you are capable of, it says timing, it should say outputting. Oh, well, never mind. It should say we will determine how much horsepower you are capable of outputting by timing how long it takes you to run up a flight of stairs. To do this, you're going to need to record some data. So first, your weight in pounds. If you don't know your weight in pounds, you can just estimate, or if you don't want to give me your exact weight, you can just make up a weight. That part's not super important. The height of each step in centimeters. So you're going to measure the height of, you need to find a staircase because you're going to be running up a flight of stairs. So you need to calculate the height of each step in centimeters. So you'll need, a ruler or a meter stick or a tape measure, something that you can use to measure the height of the stairs. You're going to count how many steps there are in the flight. Right, so how many steps are there in the staircase? And then last, you're going to tell me the time it took you to run up that flight of stairs. So you're going to need a timer. You can use your phone if you want, but you got to time yourself running up a flight of stairs. And so up next here, I'm going to give you an example of how to collect all that data. Okay, folks, so here's the deal. You're going to be collecting 4 different pieces of data. The first piece of data that you're going to collect is how much you weigh. So if you have a scale, step on the scale. If you're embarrassed about your weight or you don't want to give your exact weight, you don't have to do that. Or if you don't have a scale, just estimate. And not trying to out anybody. Okay, so that's your first step, is step on the scale. Second thing you want to do is find a staircase. You're going to need a staircase for this lab. So if you have one in your house or like in your apartment building, just go there. If you don't have a staircase in your house or apartment building, you're going to have to go somewhere where there is one to do this lab. And then you're going to need a tape measure or a ruler or something that you can measure distance with. And then what you're going to do is you're going to measure the height of the stair. So my stair is about, you can see it's about 21 centimeters, roughly. Okay, so I'm going to write that down for my height. Next thing you need to do is count how many stairs there are on your stairway. So for me, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so 11 stairs for me. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to time yourself running up the stairs. So I did that earlier, had me at about 4.48 seconds to get to the top of the stairs. Make sure as you run up that you touch every single stair, right? So you need to walk on every single one, don't skip any. Okay, give that a try. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, and so then what we're going to do is take that information that you hopefully just found and then input it into this data, this spot to record the data. So my weight was 180 pounds. You'll record your weight on the slide above. Right, you're going to need to find a staircase and then measure the height of each stair. So my stairs were each 21 centimeters. You'll measure the height of your stairs. You're going to find the number of steps in the flight. So for me, there were 11 steps. You'll count how many stairs there are on the staircase that you're looking at. And then you're going to record the time it takes for you to run up that flight of stairs. You touch every single stair on your way up. So for me, it took 4.48 seconds. Okay, and so then up next we've got a formula page. You're going to use these formulas throughout the various steps here. So the first formula is for converting from pounds to kilograms. So there's 2.2 pounds in 1 kilogram. Next formula is for converting from centimeters to meters. There's 100 centimeters in each meter. Next one is for converting from watts to horsepower. So in science we measure power in watts, but we're going to calculate your power in horsepower. So there's 746 watts in 1 horsepower. Newton's second law, that's F equals M times A. So you'll use that when you calculate your weight. Work formula, work equals force times change in position. So you'll use that when you calculate your work for walking up the stairs. And then power formula, this is what we're learning today. We'll talk more about it in a bit, but this tells you like how much power you're outputting when you walk up the stairs in a certain amount of time. So in this formula, P is power, W is work, and T is the time it takes you to walk up the stairs. So we'll talk more about that later on in the lesson. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your weight in pounds to calculate your mass in kilograms. So for example, my weight in pounds is 180 pounds. I'm going to write that in here. And then as I convert from pounds to kilograms, I need to use this conversion. There's 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. So I'm going to need to take my weight and divide by 2.2. That's going to give me my mass in kilograms, so 81.8 kilograms. You're going to do the exact same thing below, but you're going to do it with your mass. So take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2.2 to get your mass. Okay? For step 2, you're going to take your mass in kilograms and calculate your weight in newtons. So for me, so we need to use this formula to calculate your weight, F equals M times A. Remember, your weight is just your force of gravity, so we're going to calculate that force of gravity. So F equals M times A, start by writing that formula. Then you're going to get your mass from step 1. So for step 1, my mass was 81.8. You'll take whatever your mass was down below here in step 1, and you'll write that right here. But for me, it's going to be 81.8, and then we're multiplying times 9.8. That's the acceleration due to gravity. So that's what I'm going to use to calculate my weight. Is I'm going to take my mass from step 1, and I'm going to multiply by 9.8, and that's going to be 801.6, and that's newtons. So you'll write this up here. Down below, you're going to do the exact same thing, but instead of 81.8, you're going to put in whatever mass you got for yourself in step 1. Okay? Step 3, determine the height of your stairs in centimeters by multiplying the height of one step by the number of steps. So for me, my stairs were 21 centimeters tall, and there were 11 steps. So I'm going to multiply those values together, 21 centimeters times 11 steps. That'll get me to 231 centimeters. So that's how tall my staircase is. You're going to do the same thing down below, but you're going to take the height of each step on the staircase that you ran up times the number of steps in the staircase that you ran up. So it's the exact same thing. You're just going to use your numbers instead of mine. Step 4, you're going to convert the height of the stairs from centimeters to meters. You need to start by taking the height of your steps. So for me, it was 231. For you, it'll be a different number, but you're going to write 231 up here in the example. And then we're going to use this conversion. There's 100 centimeters in a meter. So we're going to divide by 100. And that's going to tell me that my staircase is 2.31 meters tall. So you're going to do the same thing down below. Take your answer from step 3, divide by 100 to convert it to meters. Okay, step 4, you're going to determine how much work you did. And so we first need our work formula. Work equals force times change in position. Okay, so we'll write down that formula, and then we're going to put in for our force 801.6 newtons. That's the answer to step 2. So take your answer to step 2, put that in for the force. And then we're going to take our answer from step 4, and we're going to put that in for the change in position. So this number is your answer to step 2. This number is your answer from step 4. And then we're going to multiply those values together to get the work. 1851.7 joules. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing down here. You're going to write this formula, work equals force times change in position. And then you'll put in for your force, that's your answer to step 2. Your change in position, that's your answer to step 4. Multiply those values together to get your work in joules. Okay? So now let's take some notes on power. Power is a measure of how much work can be done in a given amount of time. If you weigh more or climb a higher set of stairs than someone else, you will do more work. Okay, and so then if you do more work than someone else in the same amount of time, or do the same amount of work in less time, your power output will be greater. And so in physics, power is measured in a unit called watts, and it's calculated using this formula. Power equals watts divided by time. And so power is measured in watts. So P stands for power, and it's measured in watts. W stands for work, that's measured in joules. T stands for time, that's measured in seconds. Okay, so next step is going to be to determine how much power you were able to output. So for mine, I'm going to use this formula, power equals work divided by time. And my work is 1851.7. That was my answer to step 5. So take your answer to step 5 and divide by your time. And that should come from the time that you recorded. So for me, it took me 4.48 seconds to climb up the stairs. I'm going to do 1851.7 divided by 4.48, and I should get 413.3 watts. We measure power in watts. It's abbreviated with a W. So you're going to do the same thing. Take your answer to step 5 and then divide by the time it took you to run up the stairs. And that's how much power you were able to output. Okay, then your last step is going to be to convert your power from watts to horsepower. So you're going to take 413.3 watts and then divide it by your horsepower, which is 746. 700 divided by the number that converts watts into horsepower, which is 746. And again, that comes from the formula page. So you're taking your answer to step 6, dividing by 746, and you should get 0.55 horsepower. Okay, and then last up, you're going to convert your power into horsepower. So you're going to take whatever number you got for your answer to step 6 and divide by 746, and that will convert your power into horsepower. Okay. And so then there'll be a few conclusion questions for you to try to answer. Try to answer those on your own. We will go over those in class tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.